September 7th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 1. Ah man, it's Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fay. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Miles Edgeworth. I better not show any signs of weakness today or he'll be on me in an instant. Mr. Edgeworth, please give the court your opening statement. Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant, Miss Maya Fay, was at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has evidence she committed this murder. We have a witness who saw her do it. The prosecution sees no reason to doubt the facts of this case, Your Honor. I see. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's begin then. If we may call our first witness, Your Honor. The prosecution calls the chief officer at the scene, Detective Gumshoe. Witness, please state your name and profession to the court. Sir? My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm the detective in charge of homicides down at the precinct, sir. Detective Gumshoe, please describe for us the details of this murder. Very well, sir. Let me use this floor map on the I got a map. The body was found by the window here. And the cause of death? Loss of blood due to being struck by a blunt object, sir. The murder weapon was a statue of the thinker found next to the body. It was heavy enough to be a deadly weapon, even in a girl's hand, sir. The court accepts the statue as evidence. They're still calling it a statue. Floor plans added to the court record. Now, detective. Yes, sir? You immediately arrested Miss Maya Fay, who was found at the scene, correct? Can you tell me why? Yes, sir. I had hard evidence she did it, sir. Detective Gumshoe, please testify to the court about this hard evidence. Witness testimony. Maya Fay's arrest. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. There were 2 people there already. The defendant, Miss Maya Fay, and the lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fay. Why? We had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fay at the very moment of the murder. The very moment, you say. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examine what? Didn't see a single contradiction in that testimony. Whoosh. Smack. Hey, Maya just threw something at me. What's this? My sister couldn't find any contradictions in the witness. When my sister couldn't find any contradictions in a witness testimony, she would bluff it and press the witness on every detail. The witness always slips up and says something wrong. It worked lots of times. Should have expected Maya would know some of her sister's tricks. Cheat, cheat! Across the room, go! Let's give it a try. Something the matter? No, Your Honor. I'd like to begin my cross-examination. Maya Fay's arrest. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. Who'd you say you got a call from? Hey pal, don't play dumb. You know who. The call's from a customer at the Great Water Hotel, right across from the crime scene. Okay, I pressed, not sure it did much though. Alright, please continue. There were 2 people there already. Detective Gumshoe, how long would you say it took between you receiving the call and your arrival at the scene of the crime? Alright, I'd say it was about 3 minutes. That's pretty fast. Our motto this month is quick response. That's how I got there before the killer got away. Indeed. So, tell us who the 2 people you found at the scene were. Yes, sir. The defendant, Miss Maya Fay, and the lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Autopsy report exactly at 9. Understood. Are you absolutely sure it was us? Listen, pal, your dumb act will only get you so far. With her funky hippie clothes and your spiky hair, you 2 stand out like suspicious people at a crime scene. Well, he does have a point about her. She is pretty unmistakable. I should pick my points to press with a little more care. Actually, no, you can press all you want. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why is that? What's your reason? Why? We had a witness account describing her. Hang on just 1 second. Yeah? If I heard correctly, you said you arrested her because you had hard evidence she did it, right? Huh? Did I say that? Me? I heard you say it. You did say it. You said it. Exactly what about the suspicious woman in Pink's claim was hard evidence? What? Miss May isn't suspicious. She sure isn't Pink, pal. Well, I guess she is Pink. That's enough, Detective Gumshoe. Do you have any more solid proof other than her claims, Detective? I guess pressing can have its advantages. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I got the order of things mixed up on my testimony. There's something I should have told you about first, Your Honor. Very well, Detective. Let's hear your testimony again. That's new, hard evidence. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. Found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Lab results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. Death was instantaneous. Got something. How'd you like that? That's my hard evidence. Before we begin cross-examination, I have a question for you, Detective. Your Honor? Why didn't you testify about this vital piece of evidence the first time? I know, I'm real embarrassed. I forgot about it, Your Honor, sir. Try to be more careful. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. After securing the suspect, found a memo, marked Maya, victim's blood found finger, before she died. You are incorrect. I'm an attorney. Detective Gumshoe, there's one thing I want you to clarify for me here. You say the victim, Maya Fey, wrote this note. That she was accusing the defendant, Maya Fey. That's really what you're saying? What? This isn't one of those lawyer tricks, is it now, is it? Of course she wrote it. Who else could have? You have it backwards, Detective. Backwards? The victim is the only person who absolutely could not have written it. This is a report from your department, Detective. Immediate death due to a blow from a blunt object. She died immediately. But... no butting your way out of this one, Detective. Order. The defense has a point. Someone who died immediately wouldn't have had the time to write anything down. Mr. Wright, I beg your pardon, but when exactly did you obtain that autopsy report? When? Day after the murder? What's the day after the murder? Prosecution's point being? That autopsy report is outdated, Your Honor. What? A second autopsy was performed yesterday, at my request. Death was almost immediate, due to a blow from a blunt object. But there is a possibility the victim lived for several minutes after the blow. I received these results this morning. No way. Your Honor, it's quite easy to imagine that the victim did have time to write Maya. That is all. I see. Damn you, Edgeworth. I should have known you'd have something up your sleeve. You're so poofy. Why, Mr. Wright, you look shocked. Something you want to say? Detective's a sham. I'm a sham. I'm so sad. He's doing great. Don't be mean to him. Let's fuck. Controversy. Start spitting fire. Calling people shams. How insulting. Mr. Edgeworth? Afraid there's nothing you won't do to get your verdict. What reason could you possibly have had to request a second autopsy report? Mr. Wright, the defense will refrain from personal attacks on the prosecution. No matter, Your Honor. Mr. Wright? Say what you will, the evidence in this report is undeniable. Your Honor, I submit this report to the court. Understood, the court accepts the evidence. May have lived for a few minutes after being hit. Well, Your Honor, the evidence strongly suggests the victim was identifying the killer. Suppose that's the obvious conclusion, yes? Darn, this isn't good. The prosecution would like to call its next witness. This poor innocent girl saw the murder with her own eyes. Let the witness, Miss April May, take the stand. Exactly what part of her is innocent? We don't want to know. It'll be something we're not expecting. But this jam! Witness, your name, please. April May, at your service. Wink. Order. An introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. Witness will refrain from wanton winking. Oh, yes, Your Honor. This isn't good. He's already captured the heart of every man in this courtroom. Yeah, their hearts. Tell us, where were you on the night of September 5th when the murder occurred? Gee, I was, like, in my hotel room? I checked in right after lunch. And this hotel is directly across from the Fay and Co. law offices? That's right. Please testify to the court about what you saw. Witness his account. It was like 9 at night. I looked out the window, you know? And then I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. And the woman, like, dodged to one side and ran away. But that girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. And the woman with the long hair kinda slumped. The end, that's all I saw. Every little bitsy witsy. Wink. Wanton winking. Well, Your Honor. I see. It is a remarkably solid testimony. Stop this. I don't see you need to trouble the witness any. Oh, wait, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? What about my cross-examination? Thought the witness's testimony just now was quite firm, didn't you? Mr. Wright, I understand you were Miss Mia Fay's understudy, were you not? You must know her techniques well. Her cowardly way of finding tiny faults in perfectly good testimonies. Hey, how dare you? Well, Mr. Wright, will you cross-examine the witness? Yes! I'll gladly proceed with the cross-examination. Learn to talk with your hours. Only because I have a feeling Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has to have some weakness. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. Back to her. It was like 9 at night, I looked out the window. Just gonna press everything. Why'd you do that? Huh? Why? Like, why what? Why'd you look out the window? Were you expecting to see something? Oh, well, gee. What, that's it? She can't get out of this question that easily. Sort of, you know... had a feeling. Well, I have a feeling she's trying to avoid the question. Maybe I should press a little harder on this one. See how far I can run with this. Surely you must have had a reason to look out your window at that time of night. No, she didn't. I don't have a reason to look out of any window, but I look at them. Because outside exists. And sometimes I like to remind myself of the place I do not go. Ayo. Mr. Wright, I will not have you badgering my witness. Badgering? You insist on needling her with these trivial questions. I really don't think it should be allowed. Yeah, stop him. The poor girl. Order. Mr. Wright, you have been warned. Poor girl, what about poor me? You looked out the window. What did you see next? The woman with long hair. That was Mia Fey? Uh-huh. Slender, sort of, well, some people might say pretty if that's your thing. Her thing. And the person attacking her. How do you know she was the defendant? Huh? Well, you know, she had a girlish physique, and women know these things. Look, I just know, okay? There's only one person at the scene of the crime with a short, girlish figure. The testimony is bulletproof, Your Honor. He's right. I question. Hold on a minute. That testimony stinks. What? Miss May, I'm willing to bet that... You're lying. Are you telling the truth? Did you really see the defendant? Huh? Mr. Wright, what's the meaning of this? Yes, what's the meaning? Somebody tell me, because I'm clueless about this, I mean. Okay. If you had really witnessed my client, Maya Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before noticing her physique. Fair. No one wears clothes like this on a daily basis except her. I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks far from normal to me. Is Maya sitting over there at the defendant's chair like... However, the witness's testimony mentions neither of these things. Testimony is bogus. But... Still, we don't know if she was dressed that way that night of the murder. She was, Your Honor. I saw her. And so did Detective Gumshoe. What do you say to that, Miss May? Rar. Rar. R-O-W-R, rar. What are you trying to say, you mean lawyer? I saw what I saw. I just didn't think all the trifling little details were necessary, darling. Miss May, the court would like to remind you to please omit nothing in your testimony. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'll be a good girl, I promise. Wink. Your testimony again, if you would. Damn, I almost had her. Witness's account. I did see everything, I did. The victim, the woman, dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. And the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. She hit her with that weapon. I saw it. That clock, kind of statue-y clock, the thinker, I think. Well, does the accuracy of my report not startle you? Yeah, it's a little bit too accurate, actually. You shouldn't know it's a clock. I see. I only wish you'd been so detailed from the beginning. Please begin the cross-examination. Matter of fact, they made sure to point out that the thinker statue was being counted as a statue, so present that evidence, I guess? Saw everything. She dodged. Hippie clothes. Hit her with the weapon. That clock thing. You mean this statue? Miss May, what you said just now was quite revealing. Revealing? Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, naughty Mr. Lawyer? Oh, you just said that the statue of the thinker was a clock. There's no way of knowing that just by looking at it. Another person in much the same position as you recently called this a clock too. And he was found guilty of murder. Order. Who knows? Maybe Larry's terrible decision on really inconvenient clockmaking will come through a second time. Miss May, can you explain how you know this was a clock? The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's all that's important here. The defense is trying to confuse the issue of trivial concerns. Yes, of course. You will withdraw your question, Mr. Wright. The questions are all I have, Your Honor. And as you may recall, I've caught murderers with these questions before. Objection sustained. You may continue to question the witness. That was close. If you stopped me there, the trial would be over. Huh? What? So, what happens now? What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know it was a clock? What? That's, because, I heard it. Yes, I heard it say the time. So you've been to the law offices of Fay & Co. No. Hey, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my hotel room. The law offices of Fay & Co., where the murder took place, is very close to the hotel, but the clock has had its guts replaced with papers, and now it's empty and still not replaced with clock. We've got her on the ropes. She could easily have heard the clock. Well, Mr. Wright, are you satisfied? No. No, Your Honor. Can't give up now. Not satisfied because... it couldn't have rung. Your Honor, members of the court, it is inconceivable that the clock in question rang. That clock is missing its clockwork. How could you possibly? Just take a look, right now. Oh. See anything interesting, Your Honor? It is as the defense says. This clock is missing its clock. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? It's as you can see. The clock was empty. It couldn't have rung. Therefore, this witness is a big fat liar. Well, Miss May? Tisk, tisk. Huh? What a show you've put on for us, Mr. Wright. He knew the clock was empty. Somehow he knew. I'm afraid you've forgotten one thing, however. Indeed, the clock is empty. As you say, it can't ring. However, we must ask, when was the clockwork removed? It was after the witness heard the clock. There's no contradiction. Damn, he's smart. Shit. That's true. That is a possibility. The clock might have been emptied after she heard it. That is exactly what happened, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright? Can you prove when the clockwork was removed? I have the phone call? Oh, impossible, of course. I have proof. What? Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? Well, I was listening. And now I'll show you the proof you like so much. The evidence that proves when the clockwork was removed is this phone call. Take a look at this. That's a very cute cell phone. Oh, you have a girly phone. Wait, this isn't my phone. Listen. This is the defendant's cell phone, and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. Order, order. The defendant's cell phone. This wasn't brought to my attention. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe overlooked it? Good detective better remember he's up for evaluation soon. Gotta say, I'm starting to feel bad for the big fella. Let's hear the conversation. Blip. You just want me to hold on to the thinker for you then? If you could. I should probably tell you, the clock isn't talking right now. Huh? It's not working? That's lame. I had to take the clockwork out, I'm sorry. September 5th, 9:27 AM. Your Honor, I think this makes it clear the clockwork was already gone by the time this was recorded. Which was, well, before the witness even arrived at her hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? Just how did you know that weapon was a clock? Well, Well, isn't it obvious? I saw that clock before. What store was that again? I got us a mini. Oops, I forgot. Wink. So the witness had seen it before. That would make sense, though she didn't. Does the defense have any objections, Mr. Wright? Yes, Larry made it. The witness claimed she had seen it before, but this directly contradicts a piece of evidence already submitted to this court. Well then, let's see it. Please produce this evidence that will prove the witness has not seen the clock before. The clock itself. It's simple. This clock was never in any store, ever. What? A friend of mine made that clock. Only 2 exist in the world, and they've both been used to kill people. And the one that isn't here is in police custody. Impossible. Everything's sold in stores. Miss May? I think it's high time you went shopping for a better excuse. Sick Baron, I'm a smart attorney. Well, excuse is not on sale today. Rarg. What the fuck? Something's gone wrong. What's it to you, porcupine head? That stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it. A little intense, to say the least. Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a court of law, and the witness will remain calm. Silly me. Did I, like, lose it? I guess I did. Wink. Scary. Miss May, let me ask. Tell me, how'd you know the weapon was a clock? Oh dear. Does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Okay, this is it. Yes, Your Honor. Allow me to explain how I see the truth of the matter. Miss April May, you knew the weapon was a clock because... the witness had never held the clock in her hand. However, she had heard that it was a clock. She heard? That's correct, Your Honor. I really should have taken this to the police. This, wiretap? There's no other way she could have known to think it was a clock. And I can show you the proof. Well, this is interesting. Let's see it then. Show me evidence proving that the witness had heard the murder weapon was a clock. Attorney badge. Have a look at this. That? I found this in Miss May's room. Mr. Rat, please explain to the court what this is. Miss April May, you were tapping the victim, Mia Fey's phone, were you not? Oh. Your Honor, this is irrelevant. I'm not entirely sure that it is. Objection overruled. It troubles me that our witness was in possession of a wiretap. This is outrageous. Does the defense truly claim that the witness was tapping her phone? Absolutely. Even if that was the case, which it's not, you still have to prove one thing. Did the victim ever say that the weapon was a clock on the phone? Can you prove that? I think not. Oh yeah? I think I can. It's simple. What? Here's my proof. The proof that the victim said, on the phone, that the weapon was a clock is... Hold on to me. Yeah, what is it this time? It's a clock made to look like a statue. The phone! Go! I present the defendant's cell phone. Yes, we've seen that. Listen once more to the conversation between the defendant and the victim. Mia, what's up? You haven't called in a while. Well, actually, there's something I want you to hold on to for me. Again? What is it this time? It's the clock. It's made to look like that statue, the thinker, and it tells you the time. Miss April May. You used a wiretap to listen to this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong? Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Your Honor, look at the witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? The defense demands an answer. Witness, answer the question. Did you tap her phone? Miss May. Shut up, all of you. What gives you the right to talk to me like that? You lawyer. It's no fair. All of you ganging up on me like that. Oh, so I'm the bad girl, is that it? Is that it? Where? That did it. The court's seen the real Miss April May now. Now to deal the final blow. Why'd you tap your phone? Answer the question. We have to? Isn't this a murder trial? Isn't tippity-tapping irrelevant? Saying exactly what Edgeworth wants her to say. Miss May, you were tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. While this court does not condone the defense's tone of voice, he has a point. Well, Miss May, do you have an explanation for the court? Can you prove you had nothing to do with this murder, even though you tapped your phone? I'd like to see her pull that off. Mr. Lawyer, I saw that evil grin. You were probably thinking I'd like to see her pull that off, weren't you? Damn, she's good. Well, you're not the first man who's thought that. And of course I can. And will. You can't be serious. No way. Way, I say? Oh, and I assure you I'm serious, Mr. Lawyer. Okay, so the killing happened around 9 that night, right? Well, that's just when I was getting room service from that sweet bellboy. Room service? Iced coffee, I believe it was. Iced coffee, you know, like normal coffee, but cold? If you don't drink it quick, the ice melts and then you have regular cold coffee. Iced coffee? Thinking I'm making this up? Ask the bellboy. Ergo, the witness was not on the scene at the time of the murder. So, where does that leave us? It's my great displeasure to inform you that the witness appears to have been tapping the victim's telephone. However, that is a separate crime with no bearing on the current one whatsoever. Testimony stands. She saw the defendant, Maya Fey, commit murder. No, they're gonna let her just walk away. No way I can win this unless I tie Miss May to the murder somehow. Well, does the defense have anything to say? Well... Come on, think of something. Bellboy seems like a bad call. I don't know what more we can get from Miss May, though. Fuck it. The defense would like to call the hotel bellboy as a witness. There's something suspicious here. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I think you've something quite low enough already. I object to calling the bellboy. Why? What's your reason? Because I hold that this wiretapping had nothing to do with the killing. However, if you agree to one condition, I'll consent to calling this witness. Condition? If Miss April May's alibi is not called into question after you examine the bellboy, you will recognize that Miss April May was not the killer, thus she is innocent. And thereby you must also accept the verdict of guilty for Miss Maya Fey. That's my condition. What? Better find something suspicious in that bellboy's testimony. Otherwise Maya will be declared guilty on the spot. What should I do? Accept the condition or get... well, we're not giving up. Alright, got nothing to lose. Except for... everything. Understood. I accept your condition. Fool. Fell right into my trap. Oh, no. Wait. Very well. The court calls the hotel bellboy to the stand. I believe we're ready for the witness to testify. He certainly does look like a bellboy. Yes, sir. I received your summons in the middle of work, sir. I'm happy to be of service. I brought my tea in. The tea set looks rather heavy, so without further ado, the witness may begin his testimony. Very good, sir. Miss May's room service. I'm the head bellboy at the fine Gatewater Hotel, in business for 4 generations. I believe I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest, Miss May. Guest for an iced coffee, to be brought to her at 9 on the dot, sir. I brought it to her at precisely the requested time, of course. And I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. I see. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Right, I'm ready, I hope. This is it. If I can't prove Miss May was involved in the murder now, May will be finished. What exactly is it you do at the hotel? Why, anything required of me, sir. I check in guests, I check out guests. Clean rooms, I make beds. I even deliver room service, sir. I checked Miss May in personally. Now you're always so prim. Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking frivolous questions. Are you sure it was Miss May on the phone? Absolutely, sir. How can you be so certain? I checked Miss May in personally, sir. Not only did I see her in all her stunning radiance, but I also heard her voice. Then I saw them, and I... well, the point being, I remembered her quite well, sir. Yes, what then? She's talking about her tits. She asked for a nice coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot. 9 on the dot, you say? Yes, I confirmed that detail several times. She was watching a program on the TV and wished to drink after she finished, sir. 9, time of the murder. Brought it to her at precisely the requested time, of course. Precisely 9, then? Precisely, exactly, and most definitely, sir, 9 p.m. How can you, be so sure? Miss May was quite insistent that it be brought then. Oh, bellboy, cheeky, I'd like iced coffee at exactly 9. Something like that, sir. Therefore, I knocked on her door at the crack of 9. How would she be so particular about the time? I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. You're sure it was Miss April May herself? Absolutely, sir. Absolutely? Yes, sir, as in, so very absolutely, sir, it's an endearing mannerism of mine. How come you're so very certain? Well, when I brought room service, the guests, favored me with, an embrace, Embrace? Is that French for embrace? Embrace. It's French for kiss, but not a French kiss, more of a peck on the cheek. Why would she have done that? I believe perhaps she was momentarily swayed by my prim demeanor, sir. It was a moment I shall never ever forget, sir. Sounds pretty fishy to me. I think Miss May was up to something and wanted a bellboy to remember her. It's no good. There's nothing there. Is that it? Tisk tisk. Finally, you understand. This bellboy has absolutely no reason to lie. Now, if you have any decency, you will end this rather tedious cross-examination here. It was a bit tedious. The witness may leave the stand. Can't let this happen. Wait. Please wait. Yes, does the defense have something to add? One last question. Let me ask one last question. Your Honor, I must object. The charade of justice has gone on long enough. Now, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, Mr. Wright. I'll give you one more question, that's all. Okay. This is really it now. This is my last chance. What do I ask him about? Bed making. Tell me about making beds that day. Wondering what you were going to ask, but bed making? A new low. Now, Mr. Edgeworth. The witness will answer the defense's question. Yes, well, it was quite like any other day's bed making. I changed the sheets, the pillowcases, and then I proceeded to make the bed. I had to bring pillows for 2, of course, but they're quite light, you see. Oh, pillows for 2. Ah, there's another person. Haha. See, thank you. Pillows for 2? Bellboy, What did you just say? Yes, pillows are light, sir. Well, boy, tell us the truth now. Was someone else staying in Miss May's room? I object. That was objectionable. Objection overruled. The witness will answer the question. Yes, I see. Why'd you not mention this in your testimony? Well, sir, you, didn't ask. Nice try. That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. Yes, quite, indeed. It was the, good barrister there, Mr. Edgeworth, who... Huh? He asked me not to mention it if I wasn't specifically asked, sir. You fool. Edgeworth, that's cheating. Done it, I've won. Miss April May checked into a twin room with a man, correct? Yes, sir. Then, when you brought them room service, you didn't see that man in the room? That's right, sir. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In light of this new fact, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? And who, Mr. Wright? Who is this other person? Simple. It was. The man with Miss May. I don't fucking know who it was. The man who checked in with Miss May. Your Honor, as has been previously revealed, Miss April May was tapping the victim's phone. Yet Miss May herself has an alibi at the time of the murder. However, that does not clear the man who was with her. The bellboy saw no one else in the room at the time of the murder. Fine, what a convenient little setup, but it's too late. Too late? I suppose you'd like it if it was too late, wouldn't you? After all, it was you who hid the presence of the other man from this court. Upstart. Amateur. These accusations are... ludicrous. Enough. Court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look into this matter fully. Am I understood? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. That's all for today for the trial of Maya Fey. Court is adjourned. Back to the lobby. Mr. Wright, you were amazing in there. Really? Think I might be your newest fan. I was just doing my job, you know? Then again, that other attorney was pretty cool too. Huh? The face of his, with his eyes wide and trembling lips. It sent shivers up my spine. You say so. So, what happens with me? Do I get to go home now? Well... No, I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, I see. But I got a great lead in today's trial. A lead? That man with Miss May. He's the key. Oh, I get it. What happened to Miss May after that, anyway? I heard they arrested her. I guess she's learning her charms won't work everywhere. She's probably at the detention center now, and may have to go down there later. Anyway, this case is far from closed. Yes, sir. I'm gonna find out more about this man. Do you think he was the one who... Maybe so. Yes. Don't worry. I'll find him by tomorrow, I promise. I'm counting on you. Isn't that what the detectives are for? I asked for a full record of April May's testimony. Thought it might come in handy during the trial tomorrow. But now that I have it, I'm not so sure. Most of her testimony was all lies. In fact, there's only one part that hasn't been stricken from the record. A testimony. The victim dodged an attack, then ran to the right, but was caught and struck. I don't know how much good this will do me at all now. Anyway, time to hit the pavement and do some investigating. Maya doesn't belong in the detention center. It's up to me to set her free. Gotta save Maya.